I think where parents get afraid, and I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I think from what I hear and what I experienced is when we don't know how to file due process on our own. So it sounds like I need to lawyer up, which often, not everybody, but often that means a retainer, and that's terrifying. That's absolutely
Okay, well, so
terrifying.
let's just say you're the person that doesn't have the money to pay a retainer. Let's
Okay,
just take
let's
that
say that.
example, okay? There's a lot a lawyer can do for you anyway, because a lawyer may be able to help you get an outside evaluation at district expense, which he or she is going to need probably, most probably, to do your due process case so that the district understands and is motivated to settle by the fact that you have somebody that's done an evaluation that's critical of what you district offered. Part two is the Office of Administrative Hearings for the state of California maintains a list of free or low-cost attorneys,
Okay.
okay, who will take a special education case for free or for low cost. So,
Okay.
so your fear that you can't do anything because you can't find a lawyer that will take the case is, I think, unfounded.
Okay. But see, I don't think how many years have I been doing shows and I didn't know that there was this list? Where do we write to get the list of the free or low cost
I
attorneys?
will send you something after the show.
Okay. All
There's
right.
there's a person at the Office of Administrative Hearings. Her name is Lori Crom, LAURIECROM. She's the person in charge of the list. Now, let me just tell you a little more
That's
about that.
California.
Yeah,
Right?
I can't speak for other states, but I think it's the same.
Okay.
Okay, when you come to us and you ask us if we will take your case for free or for a reduced rate, we will consider your circumstances, your individual circumstances, but you also have to be willing to give us confidential financial information like your tax return or a letter outlining your expenses and your inability to pay. But
Yeah.
we will go through that process with you. And we understand that if we take the case and it's a strong case, we are going to have a good chance of having our attorney's fees paid by the district at the end of the case.
So we really, and I'm always trying to say to people, I know that sometimes it's hard to get to the place in your mind where you're like, I'm willing to spend money on a lawyer, but I've seen it time and time again that the people who spend the time and the money to get a lawyer in the beginning, yes, it can be a little bit scary financially, but they end up getting so much more in services than what they would have gotten. So it's like, do you not do a retainer with a lawyer to not get services, and now you're like so much more in the hole financially. If we matched it up and said how many dollar amount of services for what you spent with a lawyer, or just time, how much time that you spent doing things because you weren't an expert for something, I know the equation is better if you lawyer up. I know that it is.
Well, there's a really good study that we could share on the show. I wonder if I could find it. I know where it was published. It's by a guy named Jed Rakoff. He's a federal judge, not in the Ninth Circuit, but I think in the eastern part of the United States. He wrote an article about how people in the United States fare if they represent themselves versus if they use attorneys. And I will send that on if I can get my hands on it, because I read it and I was surprised at how disparate the result was. If you're in a situation where you could pay a flat fee, of $2,500 or $5,000, first of all, the lawyer's going to try to get it back for you at the end of the dispute. Yeah. Second of all, depending on the order of magnitude, I mean, I'm representing a family locally. They've paid about $5,000. They'll get some of it back. Their daughter went from being outside the district because the family had been tricked into enrolling her in like a she was in the hospital and she needed an educational program. So they enrolled her in something else, something to get that. And then inadvertently were, you know, disenrolled her from the district because people in the district didn't explain to them that that was going to be the practical effect. So she went from having no IEP in the district to she's in a residential placement that costs $10,000 or $15,000 a month, and she's going to be there for at least a year. So not every case is like that, but that's an example of where the parents got very good dollar value for their initial investment. Now I'm, negotiating with the attorney in terms of the attorney's fees so that I can try to get us paid and get them paid. But the point is, that's an illustration of how the people who designed IDEA intended it to work.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be available for people who can't pay an hourly lawyer fee. Some people can, some people can't. People who can't, if they have good facts and good documentation, we can get them an outside evaluation at district expense. We can still help you. And most of the lawyers that do this work, frankly, get a little bored with a steady diet of representing affluent clients that could pay for the services themselves, probably, if they had to. That's not, I'm not trying to talk badly about those people, but the point is, most people see the equity issue that exists all through education.
And you didn't get into this to just help that segment of the population. And I think that's part of the reason why you talk about on the show that, people can reach out to you, but if they're not in the state of California, that they can go to COPA, COPAA.net, and that there are attorneys like you. And a lot of times they are parents and they get it and they'll help.
And I guarantee you, not everyone on that COPA list is going to take free or low cost cases, but quite a few of them probably will.
There we go. And that's across the country, COPAA.net. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.